In 1995, a multi-million-dollar wildlife rescue operation was quietly sliding toward total bankruptcy. With just 51 Kakapo parrots left alive on Earth, scientists had evacuated these final survivors to a group of isolated islands, spending thousands of hours building an absolute fortress of safety. Yet, the ecosystem responded with a deafening silence. For 48 months, not a single egg hatched. Worse still, when a few chicks finally emerged, they carried a terrifying mathematical curse. 100% of them were male. By creating the perfect safe zone, human logic had accidentally frozen a dying species in time, forcing experts to hunt for one hidden variable before the countdown hit zero. To find the root cause of this total stagnation, scientists had to step back in time to 1974, unraveling a biological puzzle that had been quietly miscalculated for decades. That year, investigators tracking the original, undisturbed Kakapo population discovered a brutal biological reality. They found exactly 18 birds, and every single one of them was male. Without a single female, the species possessed no evolutionary future. To understand how a giant parrot found itself trapped in this dead end, you have to look at how its biological code was perfectly optimized for a world that ceased to exist. Weighing up to 4 kilograms, the Kakapo is a flightless, nocturnal creature that can live for 60 to 90 years. For millions of years, it inhabited isolated islands entirely free of mammalian predators. Because of this, the bird completely lost the evolutionary mechanism to feel fear. When a modern threat approaches, the Kakapo does not run. Instead, it relies on a single defense mechanism. It freezes completely, attempting to blend into the green leaves against its ancient native enemy, the giant Hast's eagle, which hunted exclusively by sight from high above. This freezing trick was flawless. The Kakapo was not stupid. It was an evolutionary masterpiece adapted to an undisturbed paradise, to attract mates across dark, dense terrain. The males developed a highly specialized reproductive radar. They dig shallow bowls in the soil, sit inside them, and inflate their chest air sacs for hours, turning their entire body into a low-frequency sound system. This deep hum vibrates across valleys for up to 5 kilometers. To make matters more complex, the bird possesses a distinct, sweet scent, acting as a second chemical beacon in the dark. But everything changed when humans arrived, introducing cats, rats, and stoats into the ecosystem. Instantly, every defense mechanism that had protected the Kakapo for thousands of years transformed into an open invitation to its destruction. Freezing instead of running made the 4-kilogram bird an effortless target on the forest floor. Worse still, the rich fragrance that once guided a female to a mate now led introduced predators directly to the nest. A system designed for absolute isolation collapsed under foreign pressure. By the time conservationists intervened, the entire global population had shrunk to a desperate handful of survivors, clinging to the most remote valleys of Fiordland, carrying a broken biological blueprint that humans was about to completely misunderstand. What conservationists failed to realize was that they had marched directly into a phenomenon known as the welfare trap of nature. When an endangered species is placed into an artificially engineered environment where safety is absolute and resources are infinitely abundant, the core evolutionary switches governing survival can completely turn off. By overprotecting the system, humans unintentionally broke its internal machinery. This was not the first time a well-intentioned intervention triggered a total systemic collapse. Back in the late 19th century, a dedicated caretaker named Richard Henry single-handedly captured and transported over 300 kakapos to a separate, isolated island, confident that geographic displacement would shield them from harm. For several years, the project seemed an unmitigated success, a pristine sanctuary free from human disruption, but the entire network possessed a single, microscopic security vulnerability. A single mammalian predator, an ermine, managed to swim across the narrow saltwater strait. Within 24 months, that solitary predator tracked down every single bird. Nothing remained of the entire colony. The historical lesson was clear: isolation alone could not prevent extinction. Yet, instead of refining their understanding of ecological variables, modern scientists implemented an even more heavy-handed, a mechanical solution. They selected islands located maximum distances from the mainland, completely purged every trace of introduced predators, and began flooding the habitats with high-calorie, artificial nutritional supplements. The objective was straightforward: force the remaining females into prime breeding condition through sheer physical abundance. The immediate result was a profound biological contradiction. The Kakapo females consumed the fortified pellets, gained weight rapidly, and recorded perfect laboratory health markers, but they completely refused to nest. Surrounded by a sterile, synthetic paradise, the birds lived under an illusion of absolute security. Yet their reproductive organs remained entirely frozen. Human management had built a flawless cage of survival, unaware that by engineering a state of permanent satiety, they had locked the very gate to reproduction they were trying to force open. It was only in 2015 that science stumbled upon the hidden biological variable, shattering decades of rigid conservation logic. The Kakapo did not need an artificial, calorie-dense diet to trigger its reproductive system. Instead, the species required a highly specific biochemical catalyst found exclusively in the wild fruit of a native tree called the rimu. This wild berry contains a rare concentration of calcium and vitamin D3, substances almost never found grouped together in the plant kingdom. For a female kakapo, which must form eggshells and raise chicks completely alone, this fruit is not just sustenance, it is an exact molecular trigger. For nearly 30 years, humans had been hammering at a locked door, entirely unaware that the key was hidden inside a single native plant. But solving this nutritional mystery immediately exposed a much deeper, a more complex ecological paradox. Back during the breeding cycles of 1995 and 2002, when the rimu trees experienced rare bumper harvests, well-intentioned scientists had flooded the habitats with extra food supplements to maximize the physical condition of the mothers. The logic seemed ironclad. A heavier, stronger mother would naturally produce more offspring. The strategy worked, and more chicks survived. However, when investigators analyzed the demographic data, they discovered a catastrophic distortion. Over 3/4 of the newly hatched chicks were male. In a population already starving for females, human intervention had driven the species closer to extinction. What the experts had unknowingly triggered was a brilliant, hidden evolutionary mechanism. In the Kakapo world, the mother controls the gender of her offspring based on resource density. When resources are infinitely abundant and safe, her body automatically produces male chicks, which require more energy to raise and will grow up to compete aggressively for territory. Conversely, when the environment is lean and resources are restricted, the biological system prioritizes female chicks to guarantee the baseline survival of the species. By overfeeding the birds, humans had created an artificial illusion of permanent surplus, causing the females to generate a massive, unsustainable surplus of males. The correct path forward required a total inversion of conventional common sense. Scientists began deliberately restricting food intake, forcing the nesting females into a state of slight, controlled hunger. Instantly, the biological feedback loop corrected itself, and the ratio of male and female chicks returned to a perfect 1-to-1 equilibrium. For the first time, humans successfully stabilized an endangered population by doing less, leaning back, and letting an ancient evolutionary mechanism dictate the balance. Step by step, the structural adjustments yielded tangible progress, and for a brief moment, the population curve climbed. The raw census data began moving forward, first crossing the threshold of 100 birds, then steadily creeping toward 150 total individuals. But this hard-won volumetric expansion immediately collided with an unyielding biological barrier: genetic degeneration. Every single modern kakapo alive was a direct descendant of that tiny, interbred pool of survivors rescued from Stewart Island back in 1980. When an entire population shares an identical genetic blueprint, the reproductive machinery begins to splinter. The species' immune system flatlines, the incubation failure rate spikes, and the rare chicks that manage to hatch enter the world with profound systemic weakness. To prevent this internal erosion from dismantling 30 years of progress, humans were forced to assume total, granular jurisdiction over the reproductive architecture of the species. Scientists decoded the complete genome of every surviving bird, establishing a rigorous ledger of life to dictate survival parameters. Technicians micromanaged every interaction, determining which genetic combinations would optimize skeletal strength. Deploying artificial drones to transport semen across isolated island networks, and substituting real eggs with engineered duplicates programmed to broadcast acoustic hatching signals to unsuspecting mothers. But this centralized management model created a massive systemic vulnerability. By concentrating the entire fragile population onto a few highly controlled, localized offshore sanctuaries to streamline technological supervision, humans unwittingly built a perfect target for an environmental shockwave. The devastating feedback loop struck in 2019. A lethal outbreak of a fungal lung disease swept through the concentrated island network. The biological infrastructure buckled instantly. 21 rare birds fell critically ill. 9 individuals died within days. And 51 survivors had to be evacuated via emergency airlift for intensive hospital therapy. That specific number 51 carried an ominous mathematical weight. It was the exact total population that existed globally in 1995. When the modern recovery program was first launched, in less than a month, a localized contagion threatened to erase 3 decades of intensive human investment, proving that the rigid architecture of total control had pushed the species to the absolute brink of systemic failure. This systemic close call forced a dramatic redirection in 2023, shifting the strategy from isolated containment to an experimental release back onto the mainland. Scientists introduced a trial group of males into the vast Mangatatari Forest Reserve, a habitat surrounded by a continuous 47-kilometer predator-proof fence. But the birds immediately demonstrated that wild instincts cannot be mapped by human parameters. Refusing to remain within the designated boundaries, several males began testing the perimeter. One individual utilized a fallen tree trunk to scale the barrier, escaping directly into an adjacent agricultural zone. This behavioral resistance proved a fundamental truth. The biological drive for territorial expansion will consistently bypass mechanical regulation. Then came February 14. Launsenling Arshalu, triggering an unprecedented demographic explosion that dismantled all prior conservative modeling. A massive and historic synchronicity in the Rimu forest yielded a record-breaking harvest, causing the birds to reproduce at an astronomical rate. In a single breeding season, 106 chicks hatched successfully, completely crushing the previous historical record of 73. This single surge effectively pushed the global census past 230 total individuals. But the most critical metric lies within the gender architecture of the population. In 1995, the global network possessed a mere 20 surviving females. By mid-2026, that number reached 83 individuals. This fourfold increase in the reproductive engine means the species finally possesses a self-sustaining trajectory completely independent of laboratory incubator networks. Ultimately, this ecological victory does not validate human technological supremacy. Instead, it marks the conclusion of a 50-year struggle where humans were systematically forced to dismantle their own management illusions. The recovery occurred only when scientists withdrew their absolute oversight, accepted the biological constraints of the habitat, and surrendered the authority of the ledger. True ecological restoration is not an exercise in micromanagement, but a conscious decision to scale back intervention, allowing an ancient system the freedom to miscalculate, run wild, and regulate its own survival.